Good morning, all of you. Today, we are going to discuss a new lesson, reproduction, the generating system. Reproduction, the generating system, sixth chapter in our biology textbook. So, basically, what is reproduction? What is reproduction? In plants and animals, reproduction is a necessary life process for continuation of life by producing offsprings. What is the reproduction here? In plants and animals, reproduction is a necessary life process for continuation of life by producing offsprings. So, organisms which are capable of producing offsprings can produce different offsprings to continue the life of species for the survival for the survival. So usually reproduction methods are different in different in different types of animals and plants. In the plants, the reproduction is different. In the animals also, reproduction is different. For example, in the case of microorganisms like amoeba, paramecium, euglena, in those cases, they reproduce by asexual methods and sexual methods. Asexual methods and sexual methods. When coming to the case of higher animals, higher organisms, they produce by using only sexual reproduction. They produce only sexual reproduction. At the same time, in the case of parameciums, there is also another type of method which is called conjugation. Today, we are going to discuss all these things, all these different types of asexual modes of reproduction. Okay, before going to that, we can explain the method of reproduction by observing a daily life example. Okay, so we all know that how to make curd. So what is the basic principle in that in the making of curd? There, we have to take some boiled milk, and we have to add say a little amount of curd in that, and by after some time we can get um, milk turns into the curd. But who is responsible for here? Who is responsible for the making of curd here? So that is called lactobacillus bacteria. So we will discuss the same method one step by step. First of all, we have to boil the milk in a bowl in the first step. In the second step, we have to take some is very small amount of for example a spoon amount of curd and mix it with the milk, boiled milk, and we have to cover the bowl which is containing milk. After some time, we can observe that the milk, all the milk in that bowl turned into the curd. This process called as curdling. This process called as curdling. The process of making curd is called as curdling. So, who is the responsible for here means the bacteria called lactobacillus. It produces it offsprings and turns the milk into the curd. This is one example. At the same time, in rainy season, we can observe that there are so many insects in the rain in the normal summer season and winter season. We can't observe that much of insects there, but in rainy season we can observe so many mosquitoes, so many houseflies, so many insects are there. So how they are coming in the case of rainy season? Why? Because those organisms can reproduce rapidly in rainy season. That's why only we can observe those insects in the rainy season only. This is about the introduction of reproduction. And next, asexual methods of reproduction. So we all know that reproduction is two types, usually two types: asexual method and sexual method. Asexual method and sexual method. So first one is asexual mode of reproduction. So what is asexual method of reproduction and how it is important in the lower organisms? So what is asexual mode of reproduction? Asexual mode of reproduction means the reproduction which happens without involving gametes. What is the asexual mode of reproduction here? The reproduction which happens without involving gametes. It is called as asexual mode of reproduction. It is called as asexual mode of reproduction. So usually organisms can reproduce asexually by different methods called fission, budding, fragmentation, parthenogenesis, regeneration. So these are the different methods which usually lower organisms can use it to reproduce. First one is fission. So to explain the fission, we can take paramecium as the example. For the fission, we can take paramecium as the example. So fission means splitting. In our usual language, fission means splitting. So in the case of paramecium, one paramecium split into two by transverse binary fission. What is here? In the case of paramecium, one paramecium split into two by transverse binary fission, which means that horizontally it splits horizontally at equal middle position. So usually in the after the transverse binary fission, it divides into two different paramecium. After that, they leads different life sources. They use different life sources, and they lead different lives, which it is called as fission. This is called fission. And next, second one is budding. To explain this, we can take yeast an example. Yeast, we all know that what is yeast here. So we can take yeast an example to explain the budding. So budding means a growth on the body as a bud that grows to form nearly identical copy of the parent. When the bud totally grows, then it separates from the parent and survives independently. What is budding here? Usually on in the parent body, a bud forms. It grows and develops completely identical to the parent. After complete development, it can be separated from the parent body and leads a different life. It is called as budding. It can be happened in yeast. We can observe this one in yeast. Next, third one is fragmentation. So fragmentation means it is also splitting. In the fission, the paramecium splits into two paramecium there. But here fragmentation means one body splits into number of pieces, number of fragments. Okay, each and every piece develops into new organism. So what is fragmentation here? I am repeating again. What is fragmentation here? Some of the organisms can grow from a single piece of the parent organism. This fragment can be from any part of the body. Fragmentation is a common mode of reproduction in algae, fungi, and many land plants. So fragmentation can be observed in the algae. Algae means nachu mokkalu, and fungi. You all know that fungi means non-green plants. Okay, fungi, and also many land plants. So this is fragmentation. Fragmentation means here one parent body splits into number of pieces, number of fragments. Each and every single piece develops into new organism, which is called as fragmentation. Next, the fourth one is parthenogenesis. We all know that in the market, there are some seedless fruits are there. Which means that usually fruits contain seeds. Yes or no? But in the case of some fruits, they do not contain any seeds. These type of fruits can be developed from the process of parthenogenesis. So what is parthenogenesis? What is the process required here? So we are going to discuss about that one. This process also occurs in nature. This is not an artificial process. It can be also occurs in the nature. An organism which may reproduce sexually may sometimes reproduce asexually. An organism which have capability to reproduce sexually, but in some cases, it reproduces asexually. So we have utilized the process of reproduction in growing organisms of our choice with more desirable characters. In this process, female gametes develop into zygote without fertilization. So what is parthenogenesis here? The process in which female gamete develop into zygote without fertilization. Here it doesn't need fertilization here. So what is fertilization? How a seed can be formed? When a male gamete fusions with female gamete, it develops into zygote. It forms a seed in that case. But here there is no fertilization. The zygote is developing from the directly female gamete. Here there is no use of male gamete, no fertilization, no fusion. Simply female gamete develops into zygote without fertilization, which is called as parthenogenesis. It can be observed in the plants mostly, but in some kind of animals like bees, ants, wasps, they can also reproduce in the type of parthenogenesis. Normally, the zygote from the female gamete develops into young one. The unfertilized worm also develops into male. So, just to clear the confusion, I am repeating again. In the case of bees, ants, and wasps, first of all, just observe one point. First one, the female gamete develops into zygote. Okay. Second point, the zygote develops into female ants, female bees, female wasps. But the zygote which is the ovum which is not developed into the zygote fuses with male gamete and develops into male. Okay, this process of development of young ones from unfertilized ovum is called parthenogenesis. This process of development of young ones from unfertilized ovum is called parthenogenesis. This is about parthenogenesis. And last and finally, regeneration. So regeneration means many organisms have the ability to give rise to new individual organisms from their body parts. For example, take the example of planaria. What is there? Planaria. So if we cut planaria into two pieces, head to middle part and middle part to the tail. So immediately the first part develops into another planaria, the second part develops into another planaria. Now if we cut the planaria into three pieces, 3 pieces, the first part develops into planaria, the second part develops into planaria, again the third part also develops into planaria. Okay, this is called regeneration. Regeneration means the organism which can produce another organism by losing some of the body parts is called as regeneration. In the case of plants, we can observe another mode of reproduction which is called vegetative propagation. To explain this, we can use bryophyllum leaves there. So just observe the picture. So those are bryophyllum leaves. In the bryophyllum leaves, small plants can be grown from the edges of the leaf only. Okay, small plants can be grows from the edges of the leaves only. It is a kind of natural propagation. Here there is no need of female gamete, male gamete, no fertilization, no fusion. Simply the leaves can produce another bryophyllum plants there. So as like that, in some stems, like some water plants are there, like a hydrilla, hyacinth. So like that, they can produce plants from their stems only. Okay, it is also a kind of natural propagation. Like that, stolons, bulbs, corns, tuber, rhizome, roots, like that. For example, stolons. means the plants which can produce another plants from their stems only. Jasmine, strawberry. Next bulbs, onion. Next corn, colocasia, tuber, potato, rhizome, ginger, root, carrot, radish, etc. etc. So these can grow into another plants. Okay, here there is no need of female gamete, male gamete. Just we need their body part. For example, in the case of hibiscus, mandara. So hibiscus, if we cut a stem into, if we cut a stem part and place it in a place it in somewhere in a pot, immediately after some time it grows into a plant, which is called a kind of natural propagation. Like that only in the onions, if we take the onion bulb and if we cover it with soil, immediately after some days it produces another onion plant. Like that only tuber also, potato also, if we take potato and place it in the soil and cover it with soil, after some days it produces another potato plant. Like that only. So this is called natural propagation. In the next class, we will discuss about the artificial propagation, spore formation, and one lab activity. Okay. Thank you one and all. Thank you.